Hey guys, it's Michael. Y'all remember Bree, my wife. She hasn't been in a video in a while, but she's going to make an appearance in this one. She is getting over some cold or something, so she does sound like a teenage boy right now. Go ahead and give him a little, say hello.
Hi guys,
Okay.
My voice kind of sounds like a man, so I understand. You can laugh, it's fine.
Bree's going through puberty right now. What is it, 28 puberty hit?
Yeah.
Okay, puberty at 28. Okay, so this video is not one we want to do. It's one that's going to be hard to do for us, even though so far so good with what we're about to tell you. It was a difficult week for us. We've kind of told you guys through the rush of all this, we're going to bring you along of our farming adventures, but we're also going to bring you apart on the trips to Cincinnati to get Reds memorabilia signed, as we build our Reds room, the golf outings, just the stuff we do to relax a little bit. Not only just the farm stuff, but we do dive in a little bit to our daily lives, and that's why we felt this one was important. So like I said, I'm already getting kind of a little shaky with it, just because it does mean that much to us. Our dog, Junior, I've had him for 10 years. I got him when I was 18. He, I think I kind of shocked my parents a little bit when I said, I wanted to bring a pit bull home. We had miniature schnauzers all growing up, and here comes the youngest child bringing a pit bull home. I dragged my mom along, and we kind of stuffed him in a truck and took him home, and it's been a wild ride with him. He's been a great dog. He is kind of a prick in a way that I think he is I want to say he's a rescue dog. I don't know if he was beat or what it was, but he doesn't often care for men right away. It takes a lot of time to earn his trust, but I think that's the one thing I've enjoyed about him, is he is not a dog that is just going to freely give trust to you. And that, I think that works a lot of how life is too. A lot of people do not just give you trust. You don't get the best out of people right away. You have to have that bond with them, and that's something Junior and I, from the beginning, I had to break down that wall with him for him to trust me, to accept, me along the lines, and then later on accept Bree as a girlfriend, wife, and his mother. So I think that took a little time for her of not even growing up with pets, but growing up with really no pets. What, you had a kitty?
Cats outside.
What was its name?
Nothing really. My first cat was named Bagel. I got hit on the road.
So Bree never grew up with a kind of an inside dog, and what that kind of bond is, where, like I said, for 10 years Junior slept in bed with me. There's not many nights that Junior didn't sleep with me unless my mother confiscated him and kidnapped him to their house.
And don't let him lie. He spoons with his dog. Hey. Still to this day, he does that. So
those cold nights where the electric blanket just doesn't cut it, and there's nothing like having a 70-pound pit bull kettle with you. But I guess we'll kind of get into the story. Like I said, you kind of know a little bit of the background of what Junior and I have, kind of how long we've been together. If I do back up a little bit, why this dog kind of means a lot to me is he was there for a lot of dark days in my life, and he was there for me. So that's for an animal, they're not going to judge you. They love you for who you are at that moment, and he did. He was there for me on days that I didn't know what was going on in my life, and that's where that bond really creates or starts. So as we get into the story, we'll kind of, like I said, this will probably be a little bit of a long video. I apologize if we do shed a few tears. If I crack a voice or something like that, I can already feel it kind of getting me worked up. But if we start, about 2 months ago, Junior, he went through a spell where he didn't want to get out of bed. Was kind of just weak, didn't want to eat. So we made the decision to take him to the vet. We took him. The vet kind of did a examination on him, kind of really felt his guts, you know, really worked through him. You know, really from top to bottom went through him, didn't feel nothing internally felt wrong. He didn't wince in pain. He didn't do nothing to show any signs of anything wrong. So we basically pumped him full of vitamins and energy, and the back of his neck or right in the shoulder blades makes a big hump in their back. I'm sure some of you have seen that. Kind of look like Quasimodo or something walking around.
Bunch of fluids.
Yeah, a bunch of fluids. Gave him some pills to kind of clean him out. We were just kind of going with that he got into something, you know, that he shouldn't have. And really with Junior, we don't have to worry about that. Chance running around here, we do have to worry about that. Chance is the one that will be ornery and do stuff he shouldn't do just because he can. Where Junior, I think we had an early spell where he tore the trash once, and that was the last episode we ever had with that. So he's really been a good dog in that aspect where I don't have to worry about him tearing stuff up. So like I said, we kind of left from the vet, you know, 2.5 months ago. He really cleared up about 2 days later, kind of back to normal. You know, we kind of left the vet that if he doesn't progress in that 2 to 3 days, that we will kind of push further. And he really, he really cleared up on that second day. So I kind of counted that as a victory, and we moved on, and life was good. And that's where the story kind of, I guess, takes a turn. And we go back to Tuesday, May 29th. That was kind of the day that kind of took a turn on us. And I'll let kind of Bree talk about them that morning of what she saw, and then I'll kind of pick back up with it.
So I didn't really see a whole lot of change that morning. Really, he took a little bit more coaxing than usual to get out of bed, but he did pretty easily. He went outside, he did his normal thing, he ate even, so it was kind of a normal morning. I mean, he is almost 10 years old, so I figured, you know, he's just getting older, it takes a little bit more time to get out of bed, so yeah, it was kind of a normal morning. But Michael came home about 3:45 that day. I guess I'll let you tell that part of the story.
That was actually one of the lucky days that I got out of work a little bit earlier. Usually I've been averaging getting home at 5, but I got lucky to get out of work that day early. So I come home. Chance was actually on the couch, which was unusual. Usually Chance is on our, you know, if you've seen our house, we kind of have like a kind of an awkward room with a couch, and then our main living room with a couch. And Chance usually is in that awkward room with a couch, and Junior's on the living room couch. But Chance was on the living room couch. That was kind of odd, so I went walking back to the bedroom. Junior was back there on our bed. Kind of popped his head up. I kind of coaxed him, called him. But he didn't move. So I got a little more stern with him, you know, hey, let's go, get out of bed, you know, let's go to the bathroom, get food, stuff like that. And kind of left the room, and I could hear him slowly coming down the hardwoods. And not really watching him, not just, here he comes, you know, he's coming. We went outside. He went actually down the steps, went to the bathroom, had a bowel movement, and then like I said, as I was watching Chance, he's kind of our flight risk, so I was a little more watching him as where he was doing. I kind of looked back at Junior, and he was just laying in the yard. And usually Junior will go out on the deck and kind of sun himself, but I didn't find it too odd. He was laying in the grass, just kind of getting some sun. But when I kind of called Junior back, Junior just kind of turned around, and he had his back to me. He was laying down, kind of turned his head around and just looked at me. And that's when it kind of hit me that something's not right. So I got Chance inside, went out to Junior. Actually where he had his bowel movement, he made it about a foot past that and dropped. So I kind of got him to his feet, got him moving, and he kind of looked like a, you know, he was drunk. You know, his back was kind of moving at an angle with him. Kind of knuckling his back legs. I got him up on the deck. He went right for the water, started drinking the water. but couldn't stand up straight. So I had to actually physically hold him to do that. Got him inside, kind of laid him down a little bit because he looked like he was lightheaded. He wasn't going to stand much more. So he laid down, kind of got going again where he was alert. He stood up and then dropped right back down. And that's where I kind of got concerned real quick that something is not right, that we need to do something. And unfortunately it was too late for our vet. They were closed. So I believe I made a call to you, kind of told you what was going on. And we basically have a local emergency vet that's a half-hour away. We kind of let, you know,
not even a half hour.
20 minutes away. We kind of let Junior kind of just rest a little bit, laying down. Didn't want to push him too much. But he started to pant kind of heavy, just overall was not good. And it scared me. And usually I'm one to stay away from doctors, vet, you know, all that. You know, they're good. He'll be all right. It's just a little spell. But when they're 10 years old,
he was drinking a lot of water too. And
Yeah.
it was unusual how much he was drinking. So we knew something was up.
Right. So we made the decision, or I called the emergency vet, kind of told them what was going on, and they said they would like to look at him to bring him in, on the exception that, you know, it's going to be $100 to get him in, plus whatever they do to him from there. Fine, you know, whatever. So we took him over, kind of carried him in. The lady, you know, the first lady kind of took his temperatures, did the normal vitals, all that stuff. The vet come in, which I will defend her right now. You know, she told us she's just a general practitioner. She doesn't know this dog, anything like that. But she looked over him, basically told us he has cataracts and a heart arrhythmia, and unless we want to push it further there, they can, but really there's not much they're going to do there tonight. So this all kind of happened in 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So for your dog that you've had for 10 years, that, you know, means the world to you. He was seen in 15 minutes and told, nah, good luck. So basically she kind of gave us the advice to talk to our vet in the morning, get him in there as soon as possible, which, you know, I do thank her for that, but I wish I would have got a little more, you know, whether it was an IV or something, you know, out of them. So we took him home that night. We laid him on bed. He was very uncomfortable. I actually left bed so he could have my spot, and I laid on the couch just so he could try to get comfortable. I don't know if he ever did or not, but
I think he fell asleep, but we sleep with both dogs and ourselves in a queen bed, so it's not always super comfy.
That's why we don't have any kids.
But,
it's a packed house.
Yeah, we pack ourselves in there, and dogs are in between our legs or in between us, or
right.
spooting with Michael.
Right, that's those cold winter nights, that's when you do it. So we took him to Met's Pets right outside of Ada, Ohio, to see Dr. Emily. She's seen him for the last couple of years. Kind of gave them a heads up. Actually, I called him about on my way to work, so it was about 5:36 in the morning. Gave him a call, kind of left him a message, just hoping to hear a call from him. Got a call back about 8:15. Dr. Emily wanted to see him right away. They probably couldn't get to him till 11ish noon, but at least, you know, he was there ready to be looked at. So I did leave work to get him there, and got him there. They kind of we put him in a back kennel just to let him relax, and when they could get to him they would, because they did have a few other things going on that morning. And that was Wednesday morning. What day was that? The 30th? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Wednesday the 30th, we took him to Met's Pets. So I went back to work, kind of just tried to keep my mind off things, hoping to hear good news that you know, he was just dehydrated. I thought he had a stroke. That's what he kind of reminded me, just the, you know, stroke where he couldn't walk straight. He just dropped, you know, that's, but I'm not. You could
tell in his eyes that he just wasn't there.
Right, right. So. I got a call about 1:30, and basically said I needed to get to the vet as soon as possible.
So we knew something was up. As you can see, this isn't easy, especially for Michael. He called me sobbing. Of course, this was just an interesting week. I had a new employee start, so this was her second day. Other random things that happened at work. We didn't have air conditioning, so I'm thinking, man, this employee is gonna hate me. But I had people waiting on me to be seen, so I had to see them and leave work as soon as I could. So he went ahead and went to the vet and kind of got started with Dr. Emily just to see what she had to say, because we didn't know at that point. They wouldn't tell us over the phone. They just wanted us to come in.
So when I got there, he was still in the back, kind of waking up from all his tests that were run on him. Dr. Emily basically showed me that he had a mass on his spleen, that the mass was large, and it was bleeding. It was bleeding into his stomach, basically, and that's where the
wooziness, and all that
he was anemic. He was losing blood left and right, and basically was his own worst enemy at this point. His body was basically shutting down, and so it was kind of hard to see. She did show me the x-ray of the mass. My first question was, how did we not see this 2 months ago, or 2.5 months ago? And I guess this is not uncommon, especially in the bully breed, but larger, older dogs, to get masses that grow this rapid or this aggressive. And so that's where, when we kind of reviewed the timeline, it could have been very small, and just the working on him of going through his guts, his spleen, his liver, and feeling those parts, maybe we, aggravated it right there, and we set it on its course. We don't know, but basically in 2.5 months, his normal weight has averaged from 67 to 69 pounds. He's always fluctuated in that. He basically weighed in at 75 pounds.
At the emergency fit.
Yes. And which I didn't really think of anything that night. I just thought, yeah, maybe their scales are a little off. But yeah, he was 75 pounds, so he gained 6 pounds in 2 months, which isn't, I guess, can be normal for some dogs, but not for him. He, like I said, he stays pretty consistent in that 67 to 69 pound range. But that shows you how aggressive that tumor was and how much blood he had in his stomach. So when we kind of reviewed everything, like I said, this is, everything's getting thrown at you so fast, but, we're so blessed to have Dr. Emily working with him that she basically gave us, we got 3 options at this point. Well, I should say 4 options. Option number 1 is going to be to take him to Columbus, take him to med vets where they have, the whole 9 yards. They can do surgery, they can do blood transfusions, they can give him blood, they have donor dogs, they have, everything you could want for your dog. But, this is going to be, I almost feel like I'm, conceited to myself or whatever it is when I say this, but it's going to be $6,000 to $7,000 to do that. For a 10-year-old dog that, really life expectancy for a pit bull is 10 to 12 years. So that was option 1. Like I said, I feel kind of almost shady saying that, of the $6,000 to $7,000. But that was option 1. Option 2 is the emergency vet that we were at before. They have better tools than what we had there at Met's Pets. That's the truth, and Dr. Emily admitted that to us. But it was going to be probably $3,000 to $4,000 for them to do it with a little more risk there. Like I said, I wasn't really pleased with them, just of kind of the service we got that night at the emergency vet. I was kind of turned off by them already, which, like I said, they're just general practitioners. They don't know the dogs, anything like that, but I wish we would have got a little more service there that I could recommend people to, if they ever have emergencies at night, take their dog, cat, goldfish, whatever it is there. Option 3 was to let Dr. Emily do the surgery. And this is the most risky of the surgeries because we don't have blood there. We don't have the stuff really he needs. I mean, we can do IVs and stuff like that, but if it's something goes majorly wrong, it's over. You know, you're basically going to euthanize him right there on the table.
It's a country clinic, so she said pretty much packed red blood cells haven't been available to a lot of people for months, which, you know, makes me question how they don't have, you know, donor dogs usually like, you know, humans do blood drives and that kind of stuff, so they don't do that for pets. So that's probably why they're low. So we kind of, there was more risk definitely with that. So
it's one, like I said, you know, we were, if we went that option, we were prepared that, you know, to pull the trigger that, you know, if he wasn't going to do well recovery, or if the surgery went not to our hope, we were prepared to euthanize him and give her that authority to make the call. Option 4 was obviously to do nothing, you know, just let him kind of be comfortable, you know, make him as comfortable as possible, and, you know, and could have been the next day, it could have been a couple weeks, and, you know, when he shows signs that he's ready to go, we can, you know, make that call and, you know, go from there. You know, when we ran down all the decisions, I knew the one that stuck out to me. I don't know if you did or not, but I knew the one that meant the most to me right then. But I knew that's the way I was going to go. But I was going to get everybody's kind of opinion of what they felt. Did you have an opinion when you heard the options?
I think I was just in shock at that point. So I think I asked, well, what'd your mom say?
Right. And mom's a big player in this. She will come down and steal Junior from us. You know, she always had smaller dogs, and she fell in love with Junior. So you know, I think for that she's able to, and if we go away to Cincinnati or something, you know, she comes down and grabs him and takes care of him. So as much as he is my dog, it's also her dog also, because she spends a lot of time. I mean, there'll be 3-4 days we won't see Junior because he's down at Grandma's, and we know he's being fed very well down there. But no,
not that your dad's not a key player. He is.
No, absolutely, absolutely.
Grandma Deb definitely loves Junior.
Right. When we weighed all the options, my heart kind of said, you know, to go with option 3, and that was the riskiest of all the surgeries, but that was keeping him close to home, and that was letting Dr. Emily do the surgery with her staff there at Met's Pets and Ada. And here's the reason why, you know, I kind of, my heart pulled me that way. Med Vets, the emergency vet, both of them are great places, no doubt in my mind, but Junior will be just another dog to them. They don't know him more than Man on the Moon. I hate to say it this way, do they even care? You know, it's just another client or patient that comes in. This is what it is. We'll do the surgery and, you know, we'll move on. Where option 3 gave us a staff that's worked with Junior for 10 years. Like I said, he can be a little of a prick, especially most dogs can be a prick at the vet. But they've worked with him for 10 years, and that's where he needed to be, and that's where I wanted him to be. So it was hard. It was hard to, in my mind, wrap around that I'm going to take the most deadliest surgery, or the one with the most risk, and trust people to take care of my dog. But not only trust them to make the right decisions, whether, like I said, it's to put him down, or trust them to make the right calls in surgery, but he was not going to be just another dog. He was family. And that's where it needed to be. So here comes the tissues. So we
need kids, right? You guys need to keep telling him if he's like this with his dog, what's he gonna be like with children?
So we took him home. We were prepared that was probably going to be our last night with him. She advised us to. I guess my first thought was, well, let's leave him there. Let's prep him for surgery. Let's let him relax. And she kind of prepared us that no, you need to take him home. And because this could be your last night with your dog. And that's a hard pill to swallow. You know, for 10 years, you know, to come with the reality that, you know, 10 years of your life is about to end, or there's a strong possibility that everything you've known for 10 years, the trust that you have, the relationships you've developed will come to an end in a matter of 24 hours. It's hard. And that was the hardest part for me to accept, is in that 24 hours it's over. And like I said, on Dr. Emily's guidance, you know, she really prepared us for what the outcome of this surgery was, and the likelihood of it was. She was straightforward with us. We didn't beat around the bush, but it was also comforting, you know, to us that she cared for him just like we did. And that's when I knew we were making the right decision, because, you know, I trusted her, and that's where he needed to be. But like I said, also she did a great job of preparing us for what the likely outcome was of this surgery. Because if it's as big as we think it is, it's going to be difficult to remove. And if it doesn't go just perfect, it's over. And so I kind of gave her my blessing that, you know, if she feels it's not going well, or if the outcome of his life, you know, of recovery and a good part of life is not well, to let him go. And like I said, we trusted her to make that call, that she didn't need to call us to get our approval of it. You know, that's how much we trusted her. If she felt that his quality of life was not going to be good after that surgery, let him go. Because that would tear me up more than anything, to have, you know, my partner in crime for 10 years and watch him suffer through life. That will eat me up. And it wouldn't be fun for him. So we took him home on the recommendation that this could be our last night with our dog. You know, like I said, I've had him 10 years. You know, I've had him longer than Bree, and I've only had you 8 years. So Junior's been around longer than Bree has, and that's
not technically.
Well, close enough.
We got on the school bus together when we were like in elementary school.
You had cooties, so that don't count. But no, so we took him home that night, and we sat in the living room. He basically was on a stretcher for dogs. He was pretty weak, so we moved him around by that. We put him on the floor, kind of got him comfortable, and just laid by him that night. Maybe I'll put some pictures up of what we took from that night, just kind of preparing for what the likelihood was. So we made it through that night. I would like to tell you that I was strong, I was ready. I wasn't. You know, as each hour got closer, reality hits what it is, and that's the truth. You know, when it's 7 o'clock at night, I got 13 hours. You know, we're a long way away. You know, I'll enjoy these moments. when it's 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. Time's short. Did we do everything we were supposed to do? I don't know. You know, when you get down to that last half hour before he's supposed to be there, you know, you kind of have doubt, you have regrets, you know, did we do everything possible for this dog to prevent this? I don't know, you know. So you get 7 o'clock. I knew I was not in good shape. You know, Bree can tell you that. I was pretty hysterical. You know, I was all over the place. But I think anybody with that kind of bond would be.
And so was I. So I don't know how much help I was. But he would cry, and I'd be fine, and then I'd cry, and then he'd start crying again.
Like I said, it's the last moments. Like I said, we were very prepared for the end, and to accept the last moments in 24 hours that, you know, he was fine to it's over. That's a big pill to swallow, and that's the reality where we were at. You know, as we were loading him in the car, you know, that was the last time he was in our house. You know, it's weird emotion. It's the emotion that you never want to experience again. But knowing you probably will someday, you hide it in the back of your memory and hope you never feel it again. So we got him to the vet by 7:30 to prep for surgery by 8. They got him all ready to go. I gave him some shots, kind of calm him down, kind of did some blood work, did his x-ray to make sure his heart was in good shape. There was nothing, no mass or anything sitting in there. He passed all that. We kind of said our final goodbyes and left. Like I said, we both took the day off work that day, and 8 o'clock or 8:15 most likely they started the surgery, and we started the waiting game. We knew if we got a call early within that hour, most likely he was gone. If there was a chance that it went past an hour into 2 hours, he was still alive. So that was probably the hardest hour, was to wait to make sure we didn't get that call. We didn't want to get a call within that hour because we knew it wasn't good. That was probably, I guess, for me, you know, Bree kind of copes with things by sleeping. I do not. I walk around and just walk to kind of try to clear my mind. But yeah, so that was kind of our way of handling things. Bree took a nap and I walked around like a madman. We didn't get that call in the first hour. We didn't get a call in the second hour. It was about 10:45 we got a call from Dr. Emily, and he was out. He made it. They removed the mass in one piece. They got it out, and he was alive. Not what I expected to hear. He made it, and that's all I heard. He made it. And he was actually off of oxygen.
He was breathing on his own.
He was breathing on his own. Yeah. They were pulling the tube out of his throat. Yeah, he made it. He wasn't supposed to make it, but he did.
So it was a 3-pound mass. So they, like he said, they somehow got it out in one piece. And then they took his spleen, because that's what it was attached to. So, I mean, 3 pounds, that's pretty large.
Yeah, absolutely.
We knew it was big, but that kind of surprised us how big. Because you remember back 2.5 months ago, we didn't feel any of this. Dr. Emily did that whole physical, and she said I didn't feel anything abnormal. So that means within 2.5 months it grew to be that big.
Right. So we kind of relaxed, celebrated, but it was a weird feeling. I knew it was for me because I was prepared to dig a hole that day. You know, we were talking about where we wanted to bury him, and you know, we wrestled with, do we bury him here at home or do we take him to the farm that we bought? That way when we eventually build up there, that he would be there with us. And to reverse all that emotion in, you know, one phone call that he's alive, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know how to act, and I think Bree can attest to that because I still cried afterwards.
He kind of sat there and he goes, I don't know how I feel right now. I said, what do you mean? You should be happy.
Right.
And I think he was just so prepared that it wasn't going to turn out well, that he was happy, but he just didn't know how to reverse.
I didn't prepare myself for him being alive. I prepared
for the worst.
For the worst, but I didn't hope for the best. I was prepared for the worst. I gave up on hoping for the best. When I seen the x-rays and stuff like that, I was prepared that it was over. So to have the rush of emotion that your dog's alive, he's breathing on his own, he is recovering, we passed the first hurdle. And the amazing part is that when they pulled the mass out, obviously they got him back together. When they actually cut on the mass, it fell apart like jelly. So if it would have fell apart in him, it was game over. So for it to fall apart like jelly as soon as they touched it on the table, how it didn't fall apart in him and kill him, I have no idea. And I don't think maybe anybody at the vet staff knows either of how it happened that way. You know, so it really, if you want to call him a miracle, I would agree with you right now, that he's alive.
There was a lot of people praying for our dog, which, you know, surprised us. We had so many messages. And
we're not even to that point yet.
Yeah. Well, the surgery.
Yeah. So we, on our private Facebooks, we posted kind of what was going on. Yeah, I take that back. You know, there was, you know, when you think, I think Bree and I both, you got over 1,000 friends on Facebook. I got over 1,000 friends on Facebook. What do we keep in contact with? Probably 20 to 30 of them. You know, really, I think on that post, it was close to 170 people reached out to us with their prayers, thoughts, all that stuff. And then you go back, it's a dog, but it's our dog. It's really our kid, and he plays a big role in our life. So to have 170 people thinking about him, you know, was a big kind of a also another emotional rush. That not only are you in this fight, but so did 170 other people join you. So talking with Dr. Emily, she was very excited. We made it past the first hurdle, but we had a long way to go. You know, obviously with his blood work being anemic, he has to rebuild all that. You know, he's got to eat. He's got to do a lot of stuff to make it. Still, we're not out of the woods yet, but we did climb a big hill, and we're looking at the other side right now. She did give us the opportunity to come visit him at 5 o'clock that night, and we did. And I was shocked what I seen. He looked great. He was alert. We took him outside. He went to the bathroom. He did he eat? Yeah, we fed him a little bit that night too.
He had already ate some, I think, earlier in the day. Not a lot, but he ate from both of us. He wanted, I mean, when we took him out on that stretcher, you know, to go to the bathroom and stuff, he was up. He wanted to walk around even hours later after a major surgery. So those were all really good signs.
Right. So we kind of spent some time with him there. Obviously the vet was closed at this time, so this is why, you know, we are going to sing the praises of Dr. Emily, and especially Met's Pets. They allowed us the personal time with him after hours. Not only were they there early, they stayed late with us. You know,
Dr. Emily went back probably countless times
throughout the night to check on him. You know, and that's the care we were not going to get at the emergency vet, the med vets in Ohio, or, you know, down in Columbus. Not to, like I said, not to say they're not great places. Please don't get me wrong with that, but for Dr. Emily to go back throughout the night of her own time, multiple times to check on him, you know, where am I going to get that care? You know, and we're not. So we said our goodbyes. We left him that night, and kind of had high hopes. You know, he looked great. But like I said, Dr. Emily did prepare us that, you know, we have a long way to go still, and he's not out of the woods. But we did cross the first hurdle through this. Going into Friday, the 1st, June 1st, everything was progressing well. He was urinating, eating. He was starting to get a little bit of a temperament back to him, which, like I said, the vet, he wasn't real thrilled to be there anyway, any time in the last 10 years, but he was starting to show that he was feeling himself again, and that was good to see. His blood count wasn't great yet, especially in the white blood cells and the red blood cells. Obviously, he lost a lot of blood, and we don't have the blood to really replace, so we're really banking on his body doing the work there. But for so far, you know, he wasn't tanking, and that was...
His vitals were good, his temperature was stable.
Yeah, no fever, no vomiting. You know, everything we could be asking for, he was remaining stable. You know, especially for that first night, you know, he stayed stable. So she was going to release him to us that night, Friday the 1st, after more conversation of wanting to do more blood work Sunday or Saturday morning the 2nd. We decided to leave him there overnight again, just so we weren't transporting him back and forth, to stress him out after a major surgery. So we decided to stay away that night. They had him already prepped out from being outside and eating in his cage, and ready for the night. So we decided to stay away so we wouldn't get him worked up and stress him out. And we would see him Saturday morning. If all went well that night, we would be taking him home Saturday morning. Everything went well that night, so we moved into Saturday the 2nd. His vitals stayed well. His platelets basically doubled from where they were. They were basically in the tank and doubled, so actually put him on the charts. His white blood cell, red blood cell is still low, but we're still expecting that. He's eating, he's going to the bathroom, he knows you, he knows the certain words that perks him up. He walked from the cage to the exam room to the car. He walked there. He was,
let's be honest, he was trying to pull my arm off to get to the car because he was so ready to go home. Yeah. The little rope that they put on him for his so-called leash, he wasn't really having it. He was ready to go home, and I literally had to pull pretty hard to keep him from going too fast. Right. I don't know if he would have, but I think he probably would have tried to jump in the car at that point. Yeah. So Dr. Emily actually followed us out. She had a patient waiting on her, so that was, you know, again, just the good care. Like, she's like, okay, I'm gonna follow you guys out and show you. Michael wanted to know how to pick him up with his incision, since it was, you know, it's pretty large. Mm-hmm. So she did that. She's not she's not that big of a lady, and she's picking up a 75-pound dog.
Right.
So, you know, I know she's used to doing it, but it's, you know,
right.
It just goes to show that she's really good at what she does.
Right. So Saturday went well. He ate for us. He went to the bathroom. We tried to limit his movement. We tried to limit his exposure with Chance. That way they wouldn't go back to their old ways of trying to wrestle and run around. We put him in a cage just to kind of confine him because he needs to rest. That's the biggest thing right now, is he needs to rest. The next, and this is kind of the sick part, but we're waiting on a bowel movement. That's kind of the next hurdle. Like I said, he's not showing a fever. He's eating for us. He's going outside and going or urinating for us. He's wagging his tail. He's doing, you would not believe this dog after 48 hours from a major surgery, you wouldn't believe it. So that brings us to today, Sunday, June 3rd. We basically, you know, we had a wedding last night. We've had a graduation party today. We've had him out. We've done all the things. He's been out. He's been with Chance. He's walking a little more. We got the bowel movement, and the scary part about the bowel movement is what we're looking for is blood. And if it's a little bit of blood, we're okay. If it's a large amount of blood, we've basically lost everything we've worked for, and we're going to the emergency room because there's more bleeding. And most likely everything that we've got excited for and our hopes up for is going to come probably crashing back down, and we're going to go right back into that spin of emotion. And he had 2 bowel movements today, and we are happy to say that very, if any, blood was in both those bowel movements today. So we are more, I can't believe I'm pumped up to see me poo, but I was pretty pumped up today to see no blood in the poo. So that's basically where we're at right now. Junior is alive. I think it's still weird for me to say that. Junior is alive. He is getting to be himself again. He's actually ahead of himself. His mentality is go, 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 and his body's not ready for that. So it's still his back legs. He's kind of knuckling a little bit on his paws when he gets ahead of himself, and really that's, you know, from being anemic. You know, he just doesn't have it. His body's not ready yet. But in his mind, he is ready, and he's getting a little more adventurous, and we are having to watch him kind of hand and foot right now to keep him from overdoing it. But that's our one thing that, you know, we'd like to see him, you know, with the foot knuckling a little bit, because if he drags on concrete like that, he's going to damage the top of his paws. So we wrap his legs up, and he looks like a ACL tear or something like that. But that's where we're at. You know, it's 36 hours past surgery. He looks great. He's alive. You know, I'm blown away where he's at. Like I said, if you want to say it's a miracle, I will go with you on this, because he probably shouldn't be here right now. I guess that's my kind of feelings on it. And I think we really wanted to stress how thankful we are to Mets Pets in Ada, Ohio, especially Dr. Emily and the staff there for the work that they did. I don't think we will ever say thank you enough to that group of what they did for us. And all the people that kind of joined us on social media of, you know, thinking about us, praying for us, thinking about Junior, you know, that 170, 200, 300 people, whatever it was, you know, we wanted to thank all you guys too with this journey, because it's not easy. You know, like I said, in 24 hours we were prepared to bury one of our best friends, and, you know, to kind of feel alone in that moment, even though we're together, you know, it's a very humbling feeling to know there are people out there thinking about you that took time out of their day to do that. it's a humbling feeling. So, like I said, we are forever grateful to all those people. We are forever grateful to Dr. Emily Metz Pets for the work that they did to allow us to have Junior still. I think we know the reality though. If it is, and most likely is, cancer, we potentially have 3 months left with him if it spreads. But that's 3 months that we get to enjoy and do it on our terms. You know, we can prepare for this. If by chance that, you know, he wants to stay the miracle dog, we'll have a few more years with him. And I will gladly accept those years. But I will gladly accept these 3 months also in this journey. But we will cross those roads when we get there. You know, we're going to enjoy the moment. We're going to live in the moment right now. And we're going to enjoy those moments. Anything you want to close, or this is a long video?
No, I mean, I think you hit on all the main things. I think we're taking it one step at a time, and we're thankful for what's already happened, but we're still trying to be realistic of, you know, what's to come. He's showing us all the signs that we want to see, but you know, hopefully it continues, and we're just going to stay positive throughout it, enjoy what we have left. So we're going to get the grandparents home so Junior can spend time with them too, and it'll help us out as well.
Right.
Between our crazy work schedules, and they can help kind of do the in-between feedings and getting them out and all that good stuff. So yeah, just looking forward to the next couple days just to see how everything goes and get them back in for some blood work, maybe Wednesday, Thursday. And hopefully everything keeps going up.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, that's where we're at. We've crossed a lot of hurdles, especially ones we knew were major ones. He's crossed them, and he's really kind of blew past them. So, you know, there's always going to be the argument out there that it's just a dog. You know, and that's what I kind of wrestled with in the beginning. It's just a dog. You know, it's not a parent. It's not a brother. It's not a sister. It's not a niece, nephew. It's just a dog. But you know, when I say that, you know, I think of the 10 years that I spent with just that dog. That's 10 years of my life, and memories and laughter and frustrations, and you know, like I said, the dark days that I went through. You know, those years are in there. And so to me, when you say it's just a dog, you know, then you know, my 10 years with him were, well, I spent 10 years with just a dog, and I didn't. I spent 10 years with my best friend. So we're thankful to have him. This was a long video. Like I said, it was kind of a hard one to make, especially for me. Why was I the one kind of blubbering? You didn't blubber at all. Leave me hanging out here. This one was one that I didn't want to make, but I felt, you know, in our journey, like I said, you know, I put out there the farming stuff. We put out there kind of the fun, relaxing stuff we do, but this is also reality. And reality in farming is, especially if you're with animals, you're going to lose them. And this is the challenge, especially raising a farm family with, you're going to have dogs. And you know, you see all the dogs out there from, you know, how farms work. You know, he's got all the, I think they're golden retrievers. You know, of all those dogs that all these farms have, you know, you're going to cross these moments, especially if you have little ones. And as I kind of act like a little one right now and blubber away, but you're going to cross these moments, and these moments are hard. And that's what we kind of wanted to put out there, that, you know, this is a hard moment for us, and we're pushing through. But we're pushing through with Junior, and
these are all happy tears.
At this point, yes. I know how to feel at this point. He is here, and I'm confident he's going to be with us for a little bit. But these are the moments we do want to share with you guys, whether it's good, bad. This is our life, and this is part of our farming dream. This is the ups and downs and the struggles, and we're kind of putting it out there for you guys to see. So please, if you would, send a comment down below that you're thinking of Junior. Give him just that little more strength. Join the people that on Facebook that have started kind of the chain with him. You know, please like this video for him. Please comment below for him. Hopefully you all made it to this far. I think we're almost an hour in for this video. So yeah, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys.
See ya.
Bye.